The circle of fifths shows the relationships among the 12 tones of the chromatic scale, their corresponding key signatures, and the associated major and minor keys. But before we create the circle of fifths, there are a couple simple concepts that we need to know first. The first thing we need to know is the order of sharps. F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. Don't worry, it's easy to remember the order of sharps with this simple mnemonic device. Fast cars go down alleys every block. Next, we need to know the order of flats. B, E, A, D, G, C, and F. Again, don't worry because it's easy to remember the order of flats with this simple mnemonic device. Better eat another dozen good chicken fingers. Interesting coincidence is that the order of flats is exactly the same as the order of sharps, only in reverse. Now that we know the order of sharps and flats, we can begin to create the circle of fifths. In order to create the circle of fifths, think of a clock and begin by placing F at 11 o'clock and continue to place each key clockwise around the circle in the order of sharps. Then begin again, but adding sharps to F sharp and C sharp. These represent the sharp keys. Once the sharp keys are placed, next we will place the flat keys. All flat keys have a flat in the name except for F, so simply begin right next to F with B flat, and this time place the flat keys counterclockwise around the circle in the order of flats, making sure to add a flat to each key. These represent the flat keys. One thing that we see is between 5 and 7 o'clock, there are two names for each key. These are called enharmonic keys because they sound exactly the same and contain exactly the same pitches, even though they have different names. One enharmonic key will be a sharp key while the other will be a flat key, but they sound exactly the same because they are the exact same pitches. Each key signature also represents a related minor key, and we can learn every major key's relative minor key by using the circle of fifths. A good way to think of this is that the minor key shares the same key signature and contains the exact same pitches as its relative major key, basically like roommates, the keys, living in the same house and sharing an address, the key signature. We will begin with A minor, whose relative major is the key of C major. Each relative minor key can be found by looking 3 steps counterclockwise from its associated major key. Moving clockwise, the next key is G major, whose relative minor key is E minor, and so on around the circle in the exact same order as we used before. Now that we have a complete circle of fifths, we have in front of us one of the most powerful tools to analyze, create, and compose music. We can use the circle of fifths to find key signatures, relative major and minor keys, chords within a particular key, how to spell chords themselves, and even which notes will fit for a perfect melody and harmony. The music that we have been listening to throughout this video comes directly from the circle of fifths. First by using the tones in the order they appear around the circle, then adding bass notes, melodies, and harmonies to accompany them. The circle of fifths represents a framework and basis of what all Western music is based on, holding many musical secrets and unlocking a whole new world of musical thought and endless musical possibilities.